Hi,
Hey.
good to see your face.
Oh, you too. Good to see you too. This is wild. I think this is the first time I've ever done this Instagram live thing, actually.
Pretty easy, right?
Yeah, not as scary as I thought. I do get
It,
afraid of technology, but this is okay. Yeah.
yeah, it works as long as everybody has a good phone connection. When they don't, it goes really wonky really fast. But
Right. I guess we won't try some like dual harmony singing, simultaneously.
you've never heard me sing. We shouldn't try that anyway.
That's true. I don't know, I don't know. I can't judge. I haven't heard it yet. Yeah.
Well, these are all going to be pulled, and we'll post them to the Cable House YouTube channel, and then I'll post them on Facebook so I can link and tag to anything we might mention. So we can just jump right in and get started.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us who you are, where you are, and what you do?
Sure. I am Avi Wisnia, singer-songwriter, uh, storyteller, fried chicken eater. Here in Philadelphia, I am now in North Philly, around the Fishtown area. I'm in my house, and uh, yeah, waiting out this coronavirus pandemic we're having.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about how you've been passing the time, both personally and then professionally. I've seen you do some live things on Facebook and things for kids, and tell me what you've been up to.
Yeah, I've really been diversifying my portfolio, as they say. Um, it's really wild kind of as a traveling musician and as a working musician. You have a plan for the year, and like everybody else, the plans are totally up in the air. And I know my entire year of gigs were completely erased. So it's a whole year of work, and then try and figure out what to do. So it's funny, being at home now is actually not very different from my life normally when I'm not on the road. It's like there's no schedule. You do the laundry and the cooking and the stuff around the house. It's just an extended staycation kind of now, and without an end in sight. You're not sure when things are going to resume. So it is a strange kind of limbo that I think we're all in. So it's been a process of trying to figure out how to convert what I was doing normally, professionally, the performances and the gigs that I had, how to convert them into now this new world that we're living in, where everything is virtual,
Hmm.
and how to make music performance translate into that virtual space. So it's been interesting. There's now the social media platforms, the Facebook Live concerts I've been doing once a week, which has been really cool. And there are also other things like piano lessons. So I'm converting my piano lessons now to FaceTime, and it's been amazing that because everything is virtual now, I'm actually picking up new students. I have people that are reaching out to me in New York and California, and I'm able to teach them because of this. So, and everybody's home and they have more time, and so we're limited in a lot of ways, and there are new opportunities in a lot of ways, um, and trying to figure out how to reach people and connect people with people
Yeah.
virtually.
Do
Very.
you think I know there's really no way to predict what this looks like moving forward, but do you think you'll continue offering things without geographical boundaries like that? Do you think you'll continue some FaceTime piano lessons when you can be doing them in person later?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is kind of opened my eyes. I'm a little bit afraid of technology, as you may have heard from the beginning of this conversation. Um, so this has really forced me to go outside of my comfort zone and do things like perform over Zoom and get used to performing the live streaming concerts, which I had never done before, and I don't think I would. It's not something I'm comfortable with. Um, but because this is really kind of one of the only options, it's really forced me to consider it and just to go for it. And it's not that scary, first of all, but it's also amazing because I've been able to connect with fans, as far away as Japan, and they can still tune in, whereas I don't get to go to Japan that often. And so, yeah, it's really opened my eyes, and I think it's forced, right, all of us to really consider the ways that we used to do things and how maybe there are new avenues and better ways to keep going. And so now we have all these tools in our pocket that we can keep going forward. Like, I think even when things go back to normal, whatever normal is, I'll keep doing some of these live streaming shows, and I'll be able to teach remotely. Yeah, there's all these new opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. Silver linings.
Yeah.
Um, have you gotten to watch anybody else's live streams at all? Have you looked at how other people are doing it and enjoyed any of them, or taken any techniques that they're using and incorporated them for yourself?
Oh, for sure. I definitely had to watch a few before I did mine to figure out like what possibility, what are the things to avoid. And it's very strange because it's a very one-sided thing doing a lot of these live streams where you're performing in a room and maybe there are tens or hundreds of people watching, but it's still you alone in your room performing without the sound, the applause, or without the sound of laughter. So you kind of don't get that instant gratification or feedback of how things are going over. So you really have to, it's similar to being in the studio in that way, in that you have to really bring your own energy and you have to create the environment that people are stepping into. It's one of the things I love about live performance is that audience vibe, but you as a performer now, you have to create that vibe for yourself. So, trying to remember that and bring that, and watching how different musicians bring their own energy to the video, to the live stream has been really cool. And remembering to keep it entertaining, keep things moving, but also to make it interactive. It's been really cool to get people sending in requests in real time and commenting on a lyric I just sang, and then to see other people commenting and chatting with each other, has created a really cool, like, kind of family vibe.
Mm-hmm.
That's been really wonderful. And of course, to see artists that I love performing in their rooms, I just watched Jacob Collier, who is amazing, from the UK, Gabe Dixon, Jamie Cullum,
Oh yeah.
Nora Jones, like all these people just playing lo-fi acoustic. And that's been like a real treat.
Since you mentioned Nora Jones, I'm going to ask you, for anyone who may be watching this video who is not familiar with your music, what is the elevator pitch for what they can expect when they hear your music?
Yeah, sure. So I have been described as Ben Folds meets Nora Jones if they had a love child in Brazil. And I've since kind of updated it for, you could also go with like John Legend meets Sarah Bareilles if they had a love child in Brazil. So there's a lot of love making going on in Brazil, I think, is
Yes.
the crux of it. But it's that cross between jazz and pop and straddling the lines between those two worlds. And then, of course, a little bossa nova flavor that I love.
I've always loved that description so much, and it's accurate. It really is. And let's see, what else did I want to ask you? Have you gotten to, besides the live stream recon and everything, have you gotten to listen to much music while you've been stuck at home for this long?
I've definitely been going through my back catalog, like I'm listening to a lot of pulling out old CDs and tapes. I even have, I have a cassette player. I have a cassette player in my car too. So going over like old mixtapes from like middle school and high school has been really wonderful. Listening to like old Ben Folds, the like original Ben Folds stuff, and Kings of Convenience is like when I always go back to. And like classics like James Taylor and Chet Baker, just songs that are always appropriate and always timeless, and then also staying current with listening to live streams of radio stations that I love, like XPN here in Philly, and KEXP in Seattle. Do you listen to KEXP?
Oh yeah, they're two of my favorites, them and WXPN. Yeah.
They're amazing, and both like so wonderfully community based and supportive of their communities and the artists in their community, but also independent music in general, but just a wonderful eclectic mix. So those two kind of keep me current and keep me listening to new stuff and turning me on to new things. So mix of the old and the new.
Yeah, me too. We started to talk a little bit about how you've been occupying your time, and I want to mention when I don't know how long ago it's been now, maybe a month, but I'm bad at time under normal circumstances, so who knows. You had posted something on your personal Facebook page about your grandfather not being able to receive visitors, and so you suggested maybe people might write him letters, which I did and was so excited for that
Yeah.
opportunity. And then you wrote one to my grandparents, and they were over the moon. Can you talk a little bit about your grandfather and about that idea and about the feedback maybe you've been getting about it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's my right before kind of this whole coronavirus lockdown, and we all realized that we couldn't and shouldn't, kind of go places. My grandfather was living on his own. In fact, we had just traveled to Poland to do some performing there, and when we got back, he could no longer live on his own. He was living in his own house, and he moved into an assisted living facility, which was very good for him. And the timing was great because there was no way that he could take care of himself during all this. And we know he's being well taken care of now, but of course he's under strict lockdown. So as soon as he moved into this place where we wanted to visit him all the time, we were no longer able to visit him and see him. And we had all these programs and concerts planned that we couldn't do. So just felt so awful that we weren't able to reach him. And so I just had this idea of reaching out to people like on Facebook, our personal network of people that know him. And I know through our travels, even people that don't know him have followed along with our travels and have kind of fallen in love with him and adopted him.
He's a rock star.
He is. He really is. He's a celebrity. So, I put it out there. I figured people may want something to do while they're kind of at home, or even, some of my friends with kids might want like an art project to draw a picture for him. And so I put it out there, anybody that wants to write a letter to him. And the response was so overwhelming. Like, so many people, just wanted to write to him and just to tell them how much they admired him and had been following along with his story and read his book and had heard him sing, and even people that had never met him before. And of course, I didn't tell him this. So he just starts getting letters day after day from all these strangers around the world. And he's calling me, "You'll never believe what I got in the mail, and this person, this person." Sometimes I know them, sometimes I don't. And it's just this amazing outpouring of care and concern. So I know that my grandfather is being entertained and feeling the love remotely. But also, I mean, like you, we exchanged grandparents, and there are people who said, "Yeah, my uncle is over here, or my friend is isolated." And so I've gotten all these new pen pals that I've been writing to. And even some of my friends are just like, "Yeah, why don't you write a letter to me?" And it's just grown into this whole exchange that's, hoping us all feel less isolated and more connected, and helping the postal service,
Yeah. Well,
And
I love it. I thought it was a wonderful idea and very much in keeping with what I know about you. Is pretty on brand, we'll say. A really sweet gesture. And I personally love writing letters and sending mail. I've counted it up, and I think I've sent well over 100 pieces of mail since this started.
wow.
In the last 8 or 9 weeks. And I have to keep stopping because I think people are trying to support the Postal Service. So all of a sudden, it's taking way longer than usual when I order stamps for them to get to me. So I have to wait now, slow up a little bit until my stamp order comes.
Yeah. Now, do you like to send letters or postcards, or like, do you make something? How do you do it?
All of the above. I kind of got famous in my circle of friends for whenever I send them a thank you note, I hand stamp usually song lyrics or some kind of quote or something on the front of a card. But I've gotten pretty into sending postcards, and I've always loved writing letters. So I do that quite a bit too. I'm getting to do a lot more of all of those things lately. That's how I spend my evenings. Um, so if this weren't going on, where would you be typically? You know, well, you may have already had a specific things scheduled. Where would you be the middle of May?
That's a great question. I had a lot of local performances planned. So one thing that I've been getting into actually the past couple years is during the day performing at a lot of senior centers, you know, and assisted living facilities, that kind of thing. And it's such a wonderful circuit to play. There's a lot of them, and it's also, it dovetails with a lot of music that I like, kind of the classics and standards and jazz and that sort of thing. And of course, they're all on lockdown, and there's no visitors even coming in. So that's all gone. I was also hosting a songwriters night, Songwriters in the Round concert. It was a residency that I was hosting with my friend Aaron Nathans. And we were hosting songwriters from around the country every month in Ardmore. And so, yeah, was looking forward to, we had a whole slate through the spring lined up, and just having to cancel or postpone. And so that would have been going on now. But what I'm kind of working on now, is working on some new music, finishing up some mixes, which actually is kind of, because I was going to be local, it wasn't like I had to really cancel too much big travel.
Sure.
So yeah, finishing up some mixes to hopefully put out a new album later this year. And even though there can't be maybe a big live release show, at least there will be some new material and something for people to consume. So
it's exciting. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And so when we can start building things back to whatever normal is going to look like moving forward, what are you most looking forward to doing, or to reinstating, or to doing differently maybe?
Hugs.
Oh, can't wait for hugs.
I miss hugs a lot.
Oh, there we
Hear me
go.
okay? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're not talking enough about the hug deficit that we're all experiencing. You know, it's like
Devastating, frankly.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna hug everybody a lot when that happens. And I really miss performing to an audience in a room. I'm looking forward to getting back, and like of all rooms of all sizes, you know, the house concerts, the intimate shows, the huge venues, the theaters, the festivals, the summer festivals, you know, all the summer festivals now are canceled too. So really looking forward to that. And yeah, just trying to resume some sense of traveling and touring again will be really nice. And of course, I have this new music that's going to be coming out, so I just want to get it out to as many people as possible. And you know, thank God we have the internet, and if Wi-Fi goes out, I don't know, I guess riots will be in the streets, but until then, it can still get the music to people, and that's, you know, that's important.
Yeah. All right. Well, to wrap things up, can you tell us where people can go to find more information about you, to keep tabs on your music, to support you? Where do people go to tune in?
Yeah, absolutely. People can get my music on Bandcamp. If you just search my name or go to my website, aviwisnia.com, you can stream and download my entire catalog of music there, including some digital-only releases. And there's also a new compilation that just came out this weekend from Philly local artists, which includes songs that a lot of my songwriter friends that we all wrote while in quarantine kind of recorded them in our homes. and that's a benefit album that's also on Bandcamp. Um, and then I would encourage people to go to my website, sign up for my mailing list, and stay in touch about the new music that is going to be coming down the pike in a few months. And also this Thursday, I'll be doing my another live stream on Facebook. So it's free concert live stream this Thursday, the 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be sort of a season finale show. So a big show taking requests, and it's going to be supersized, and it's going to be live and fun.
Good. That all
Yeah.
sounds wonderful. I second the notion of signing up for your e-news. I always love newsletters from you. You're such a great writer.
Thank
So that includes music news. When you've traveled with your grandfather, the blog posts are linked in there. And it's just, you're always so busy, and I love seeing what you're doing. And so that's a really great way, I think, to keep on top of it, is for people to sign up for that email newsletter.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
stay connected for sure, however we can.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. Amid all this weirdness, it's nice to hear your voice and see your face. And
You too. You too.
anybody who's watching, I'm doing this every Sunday until it's safe to leave the house again. So keep an eye on the schedule, and I'll keep talking to people. It's been nice to hear how everybody's weathering the storm and adapting.
This is an awesome thing that you're doing.
Well, thanks for being a part of it.
Yeah, anytime. Anytime.
Save one of those hugs for me, okay, Avi?
I will. You got a big one coming.
Good. Take care.
All right, stay well. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.